protecting a crop's genetic yield potential. Hello, I'm Megan Grebner, and this is Managing for Profit on Brownfield, a content partnership with Arista Life Science. Margins are tight, and growers are looking for ways to increase yields and boost profit potential. In this Managing for Profit, Lynn Justesen shares how Unlock 5 crop life cycle strategies can help growers protect their crop from environmental factors that can reduce yields. Lynn Justesen, a technical sales specialist, says now is a great time for farmers to take a look at last year, see what worked, what didn't, and how farmers can improve yield potential this year.
As you think of those, and we think about it within those, I think you can really break that down into areas or segments where you may be able to influence things at specific times. So whether it's crop establishment, it could be your plant growth stage or your architecture stage.
He tells Brownfield Unlock 5 is a systems approach to unlocking the genetic potential at the 5 stages of the crop life cycle.
Those 5 life stages are establishment, architecture, photosynthesis, reproduction, and then fruit sizing or yield. We identified those 5 particular life stages. You look at them, and then we started to go, okay, what do we have that we can help with, and what do we have that can influence within each one of these particular life stages? And when we go through that and go through that life stage, of what we found with Arista is we're much broader into that portfolio than we ever thought, or broader into the life cycle, to the point where from the time you plant it to the time you harvest it, we have some things that can go in there and help influence each one of those particular life stages. And then what can we do with those, and then what we can do to help maximize what's going on within that plant, whether it's corn or soybeans or wheat, or maybe even a specialty crop. What can we do within each one of those life cycles to maximize what's going on in that plant to ensure that at the very end, we have the best product we can out the back end of it.
Justesen gives an example of how the system can work.
If you look at something like a Tapera Plus, right? It's an in-furrow product that was specifically built just for the starter fertilizer in-furrow market. And if you look at that in-furrow market, mixability, compatibility, and all that were really key driving forces on why that came out. But what has happened is once we get to that point where we're combining a fungicide and an insecticide in furrow, we see things much beyond just one compatibility and maybe the ability of that insecticide to protect us from early plant pests. By adding a fungicide to it, we've done things like add 20% more roots, right? We see an average of over 1,200 more plants per acre when you put it in furrow. So now we've taken something that was built just because of compatibility, and now we've added additional things like increased plant stand, earlier root growth. We see a more even emergence, and those things all set the stage for the possibility of yielding more at the end of the season.
I'm Megan Grebner with Managing for Profit on Brownfield, a content partnership with Arista Life Science.